Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Exploring Spiritual Healing Modalities. And today we are very honored to have Dr. Newton with us, who is revered for one of the pioneers of PLR in the world. And he's a self-realized master, past life regression therapist, and spiritual scientist. Dr. Newton has conducted more than 1 lakh PLR sessions, both individually and group sessions. He has authored successful books like The Science of Past Life Regression, Consciousness Heals, Art and Science of Meditation, among others. He has been conferred with various titles and awards for his outstanding contribution to the field of spiritual science. He has been awarded and conferred the honor of being called as Brahmarshi Chakravarti by Patriji. And he is the founder and chairman of Life Foundation, which does a lot of training programs and workshops in various spiritual healing modalities. And today we're here with him to talk about past life regression. So welcome, Newton Garu. Okay, I think, yes, are you able to?
Yes, now that's wonderful, wonderful. Mallika Garu, Namaskaram. And it's really an honor to be with all the friends today morning and share about whatever that I learned from past life regression therapy and this healing modality, and whatever experiences that I gained, I'm going to share with all of you.
Wonderful. Great. Dr. Newton, please talk to us about your journey from being a doctor to Brahmarshi Chakravarti.
Okay. So in everyone's life, there will come a day when there is a question that appears in the minds that, what is that unknown? We are living in a known world and we are using all the 5 senses, but there is something which intrigues us when we encounter certain things like death. And we have this question. So far, this person is so alive. There is prana in him. And he was speaking to me. Suddenly, he disappeared from here. Why his body is not moving at all? And we get this question in our minds that, is there life after death? Is there any soul? So way back in 1987, these questions appeared in my mind. I was 17-year-old at the time. I just finished my +2 and I appeared for my entrance exam for medicine. So I got a medical entrance. I passed through the test. So I got the seat in Kurnool Medical College. That time, I read a book, Jonathan Livingston Seagull, authored by Richard Bach. This book inspired me a lot. Several questions came into my head after knowing about the story of this bird. It is written as a novel, as a fiction, a story. So, but the story has such a meaning. And I was really with these questions like, what is the purpose? What is the meaning of this life? We live, we fight, we survive, we struggle, and one day we die. What is the whole meaning of this? Why we are all living here on the planet Earth? Is there a certain meaning? Is there something that we do not know, we do not comprehend? That quest began that time. And very soon, 1989, I met my guru who taught me the meditation, Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji, who introduced me to the path of meditation. That's how my whole journey began. When I started practicing meditation, I had several experiences, which we can call them as paranormal. Like we can't categorize them as some kind of worldly experiences like One experience I can share with all of you is my reincarnation memories. I started having the glimpses, visions of certain past life memories. So of my own, I could not believe them because I was always suspicious about these spiritual experiences coming from a medical background. I could not believe these are all past lives. Maybe my mind is cooking up a story. I thought about that. And what happened is I was with an open mind. I want to investigate more. That time, first time, I conducted one experiment on my grandmother. So a kind of regression process that I conducted, the way I could visit my past life memory, like my mind was turning backwards. It's going back in memories, like childhood memories and womb memory and then past life memory. The same way, I was giving her the instructions to go back. She was in a deep meditation state. She was with her eyes closed. So she could narrate so many memories, like childhood forgotten memories, and then cradle memories when she was in the cradle. These are all forgotten from her conscious mind. And she narrated about her womb memory when she was inside her mother's womb. Then I asked her to go further back, and she was in a past life. She narrated, I thought she will now cook up a story. She will imagine something and she will narrate. But surprisingly, she was not cooking up a story, but she was into very deep crying spell. In that moment, she was crying because she was a young person who had two children, and she was living in a village. She was a housewife. She was bitten by a snake. She was leaving her body in the last moments of that life. She was feeling so sad to leave the two young children. So it was so real, the emotion that was coming out. And that was the first experimental session. I was so much happy about this session because, oh, there's a way that we can also look into these memories and understand why she is emoting something. Those emotions are not there now, but when she connected to some memory, maybe it is a dream, maybe imagination, but still the emotion was so real. And my curiosity increased. I conducted the next session, 1991. That's the 1991. So one degree student who never knew any Indian languages, who knew only Indian languages. He was speaking Hindi, Telugu, and a little bit English. But when he was regressed, in the same way, the instructions were given, and he was into a very deep meditative kind of trance kind of state, like how we go into a kind of sleep, semi-sleep state. In that state, he went back to a past life memory. He was speaking another language, a foreign language. And we made him to write the alphabets of the language. We recorded the session, and later we showed it to language experts. They confirmed it's a Russian language. So after that, I conducted again another session on him, this time with more specific details. So to understand about his ability to recall the language, he was speaking the language. So for me, it's a breakthrough experience, I can say, that there is an evidence. A language cannot be, imagined. He was never exposed to that language. There is something that in the medical field we speak about. It's called xenoglossia, means speaking strange language. We have an explanation, scientific explanation. Oh, that person might be in the sleeping and he heard some radio and his subconscious mind captured the language. So we try to give logical answers, but he was never exposed to any kind of programs like that, radio or news channels or nothing. He was speaking very fluent language. So that's the really a turning point in my life. I developed so much interest to do further research. I was a reincarnation researcher initially. I want to either know whether it is true or not true. It is the truth is always cannot be altered. Truth is the same. Whatever in India we believe in karma and reincarnation. So what is the scientific evidence of that? So first evidence I found is this, and later on I was conducting more and more sessions, but I could get some beautiful cases where they were giving validations. Like one person was in a different time period. He was narrating about an aircraft. I asked him the details of the aircraft. He said it's a Dutch Airlines. He said it is around 1940s, 1945, 1950s, I think, 1950s, if I recall that experience of this client. So he narrated that experience very vividly. And he was a pilot. There were 45 passengers boarded in the flight. So they took off from the Munich airport. They're heading towards Amsterdam. So there was an air disaster that happened. So the last final dying thoughts were, I could not save the lives of these 45 passengers. Maybe it's my mistake. Maybe I'm responsible for the deaths of these passengers. Because the navigation control was lost, there was a disaster that happened. So afterwards, this person asked me whether it is really true. How do I know that it is true? So I told him, you gave some kind of details like year, Dutch Airlines. Why don't you write an email to them? Dutch Airlines is called KLM now. So KLM Airlines. So why don't you contact them? Why don't you find out whether there is a air disaster? Because there's a specific episode that he narrated. So he cross-checked, he did some research, he found out the details. It was completely matching, whatever he narrated. The best part is, after that session, he also told that he used to get a recurrent nightmarish dream about aeroplane crashing into building all the time. From childhood, almost he used to get this nightmare. He used to get up from bed with perspiration and sweating. After this session, completely those symptoms vanished. Nightmarish dream did not recur anymore. And he also had certain kinds of guilt complexion. Always used to feel responsible for everyone's unhappiness, like a chronic guilt. Those things disappeared. For me, it is like a beautiful proof. I started opening my mind further, and I carried always my skeptical part of my mind. And over the years, I found it's more than reincarnation, proving the reincarnation. It has the healing abilities. So it has a power to heal a person's subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind, which is so powerful, which is really creating so many psychosomatic illnesses, psychosomatic disorders, behavioral patterns, people are able to change them. So at this point of time, I don't look for any validations, because people reported back, even though they don't believe about reincarnation memories, still they are getting benefited. For example, I tell you a story, an experience of a person who called us. He said, I'm a Muslim. My religion says there is no reincarnation. We believe in only one single lifetime. But I have this symptom. My half part of the body had a burning sensation. I want to commit suicide. It's almost 17 years. I'm frustrated. So he took help from allopathy, all kinds of pathis, homeopathy, acupuncture, naturopathy, but he could not be relieved from those symptoms. And when I told him that you don't need to believe in reincarnation. If you are with an open mind, think that there are parallel lives. There's another version of you living in a parallel universe. We don't know. Even if it is an imagination, if it is affecting you therapeutically, clinically, then why don't you just look at that possibility of healing yourself with this modality? He came with an open mind. When he accessed a past life memory, what he saw is a kind of battlefield where there's a bomb explosion. Half part of his body was burnt, exploded. So he was reliving that experience, almost like a terrorizing experience for him. He was in terror, he was in pain, he was having the burning sensation, and after that session, he reported that symptoms completely vanished. And he thought maybe it is my subconscious mind saying, like a placebo therapy, like, oh, this is gone, this is gone, this is gone, and the suggestion is working. So I told him, if it is truly some kind of subconscious memory which surface, this symptom will not recur for you. Wait and watch. Report back your experience after, say, 2 weeks later, after few months later. He reported back to us after few weeks, few months. Now almost it's like more than 20 years. Still, he is completely symptom free. And at this point of time, I truly believe that it is the power of these memories. Whether we believe the memory is coming from past life, or it is the memory that we picked up from some books and some stories, and doesn't matter. What matters for me is it is the therapeutic, highly therapeutic. Many fears, phobias, people are able to heal. So personal level, it benefited me a lot because I access my own memories, and I don't have any iota of doubt that they are not reincarnation memories. Now I'm very clear that our soul continues to live, means it comes back again. Our earth is a school. There are several classes in it. We pass the first KG class and first standard. Then we progress to the higher class, middle school, and then high school, and then we go to the college, university, and then we complete the post-graduation also. So I feel that we all have multiple lives, not one single life. From my own experience, I can say that. So my journey began from a skeptical person to completely a believer of whatever the Lord Krishna spoken about in Bhagavad Gita, whatever Mahavir spoken about, whatever Lord Krishna spoken about, whatever Buddha has spoken about, Patanjali Maharshi has spoken about, whatever in Bharat our ancient wisdom, the Upanishads and Vedas, is the very fundamental basic principle that was explained in our ancient scriptures, that law of karma exists. Whatever you give out, it comes back to you. Maybe not in this very next moment, but it may come back to you in its, it is cyclical. Karma is going to bound to come back, and it generates certain kinds of experience for you to learn from those experiences. So now my path is altered, changed from a medical doctor. I started embracing this alternative complementary approach. I know that we're all amazing, powerful beings, very powerful. We undervalue, we underestimate ourselves. And our logical mind fails to understand the mysteries of our birth and death, about the life itself. So the life continues even after death. There was life before we are born here. So that's what my answer to your question, Mallikaji.
It's wonderful. Actually, you have answered a lot of questions that I had in my mind. I have gone through a PLR session last year, or a little more than last year. A friend of mine graduated, studied PLR. So she wanted to test it. I said, okay, test. But my question was that how do I know it is not imagination and it is a past life memory? Because I did not go into it with a question.
Right.
So, yeah, how can you tell if it is just my imagination?
Yes. So there are imaginary experiences as well. After my 29 years of experience in PLR, past life regression field, I can say that there are 80% of the cases are symbolic experiences. Symbolic means metaphors. Whatever the information that our subconscious mind carries out, it brings up as a story and metaphor. That's why it's all symbolic language, like in a dream. How we get a dream, in the dream we get the symbols. We need to interpret it in the right sense, then we can really decode it. We'll be able to be benefited from the dream information. In the same way, almost 80% of past life experiences are symbolic in nature, metaphorical in nature. If we try to search for the evidence, we will fail to understand. We will not find. But there are 20% of the people cases where there is a past life information. Exactly whatever they go through that experience, the names, the place, and the time of death, and the nature, how they died, and all that information can be completely validated. That's why, but the benefit is equally good. The people, they are benefited whether it is the metaphor that they're bringing up from a story, from their subconscious mind, but still it has a kind of beneficial effects. That's why most of the times I encourage people, if they even suspect that I'm imagining things, I'm cooking up a story, I tell them it's okay. Even if you feel that way, allow the experience to unfold. Let your subconscious mind project the whole story, because it's the subconscious information you might have picked up from anywhere. It doesn't matter, because it's bothering you in this life. If someone is going through a fear phobia, they may come up a story with a car accident. Maybe it not happened, but it's the story they picked up from a movie or a television, maybe some kind of book they have read. So it does not matter. The story, when it emerges in a past life regression, what we do is we reframe the memory. We understand this is the past. This is whatever the story that belongs to the past. In the present moment, you don't need to cling to that memory anymore. Let's say goodbye to that. Let's change our viewpoint. Right now, you're safe. No more accident is happening. It's your thought, which you are storing, which you believed in, which is really creating this kind of phobia and fear in you. So many people, even though they feel that's imagination, but still they're getting benefited from this process. That's why we can't really say, unless someone is doing some kind of research into their memories. So I found this kind of equation, like 20% are real past life stories, 80% are symbolic.
It's wonderful. Actually, one of our viewers, Ranjit, had a question that what is the connection between past life regression and healing? So I hope, Ranjit, you got the answer. So my next question, Dr. Newton, is it is therapeutic, so we get to heal our wounds and heals and traumas. But what about those who are on spiritual path and they want to use this process to move forward in their journey? How does it help?
Even a meditator, a person who is a spiritual seeker, it really accelerates their growth. It accelerates the spiritual growth. Why? Because many of us, unconsciously, we are holding on to some information which is preventing us to move forward in life, as if something is pulling us back. many of us, we feel that. We feel kind of repetitive patterns. Even though we are meditators, still we are not able to go into the depths of the meditation to realize our soul or consciousness and to make a progress in life. So because we are carrying a patterns from past lives. That's why I encourage even many spiritual seekers, because they are the ones who are ready. Past life regression is not for everyone. Why? Because if they are not ready, they can't really make use of the information that they access through past life regression. It's not just for curiosity sake that we should conduct the past life, because as a rule, past is already over. Why we should dig into the past again? As a rule, it's not for anyone, it's not necessary. It's not recommended. But those who enter into spiritual path, it will actually, they're ready to understand the incarnations, many journeys, lifetimes. They can really comprehend, they can integrate the information. Otherwise, it will be a big disaster. Those who are not ready, it is a big disaster. That's why many of them, when they approach for the sessions, I always educate them. I see whether they are in a stage to integrate. I give them initial homework, means some recommended reading. They must be really, understand that past memories, even though they surface, some people may not be integrating them. Instead, they can cling more to those memories. For example, if they see themselves as a murderer in the past life, it can make them so guilty. Or they see themselves as a victim in the past life, they feel so victimized. They get angry on others now. Because if they identify that same person is now my husband who is living with me, they can't have any kind of beautiful relationship now. Because this thought, my husband is a murderer in the past life, I was a victim of him, and it is a big disaster. That's why I always educate them before they attend for a session. Because whatever the past life memory, there's definitely an impact on this current life. There's an effect on this life. Past lives influence this current life. So I educate them that you need to let go of that. The memory that comes up, it belongs to the past. We should say goodbye to it. And also, even if you see any kind of negative stories, negative memories, it's already done, it's over. For example, wife and husband, or some kind of beautiful relationships. Sometimes they may be enemies in the past lives who are now coming back together to heal, to grow together. Now, what is needed is forgiveness, a deep acceptance, and letting go of the stories that they are carrying. That's why it is, I recommend not for everyone, but those who are ready. Spiritual seekers, definitely. They are the really the candidates for accessing these past life memories, and they can integrate.
We have a lot of spiritual seekers on this group, so everybody's hearing and they want to know more, where to get in touch with you for to learn this art.
Yeah, sure.
We will get to that in detail, actually, as to how you all can learn this spiritual science and progress in your spiritual path. But before that, I have a question. Dr. Newton, now that you spoke about how spiritual seekers can progress using PLR, how did it actually pan out in your own life?
Okay, so for every spiritual seeker, their mind is the biggest obstacle. The mind is something beautiful. At the same time, it can be an obstacle, because the thoughts that are generated in our mind, And only we're talking about the conscious mind. Conscious mind thinks about 50,000 thoughts per day to approximately 90,000. Some, they are good thinkers. They think 90,000 thoughts. And most of the thoughts are, unproductive, uncreative, and negative thoughts. And there's something called subconscious mind, which medical science started exploring through the field of psychology, starting from Sigmund Freud, Carl Gustav Jung, and many other students of Sigmund Freud. They explored this subconscious mind, which is so powerful. Means whatever the data that is there in the mind, constantly the recent memories are sent into subconscious mind as files and folders. It is stored. It's like we have such hard disk, any data, every data of this lifetime and many multiple lives is stored. The information is stored in subconscious mind. So when a meditator starts spiritual meditations, the first obstacle will be to encounter with their own thoughts, with their own fears. So once they practice, initial period will be good. They reach to a tranquil mind. It looks very relaxing, serene, peaceful. But after that, they need to pass through these layers of the mind. Whatever is unhealed in the past, it comes back as thoughts, distractions. Many distractions will come. Our subconscious mind, very powerful, projects constantly these stories. And so many distractions. Our mind is not focused. We are still somewhere living in the past. Though we are here, only a little part of us is living in the present moment. That's why spiritual seekers, when they encounter these kinds of distractions, they're not really making a progress. And they also identify what, after this embracing their mind, all the stuff they're carrying in their mind, it dissolves. For example, all the negative thoughts, all those thoughts which were belonging to the past. Even let us say the example of childhood memories. A childhood, a memory of being in a school, a teacher in the school has judged, humiliated the child in front of the whole class, made the child to stand on the table as a punishment, and scolded that you are a dumb fellow, you don't learn, you're a failure. And there is a humiliation that happened. What happens in that moment for that child is there's a belief that is formed in the mind of the child, a belief that I am good for nothing, I am inferior, others are so good, I am unintelligent. This is stored in the subconscious mind. Now, this child has become an adult. They now become a CEO of a company, but always in the background, this is the belief they carry. I am unintelligent. They don't trust their own decision. They always have to get the approval. They have always seek some outside source to give them the strength to decide. So we find these kinds of so many obstacles coming from conscious, subconscious mind, the stories that we carry. And after we cross it, there is a personality structure, another obstacle. This we call it an ego structure. The ego is the biggest obstacle for a spiritual seeker. We are identified with certain kinds of personas, like I am this and I can't be anything else. Our persona is formed over many experiences. It's shaped into a certain kind of personality structure. Maybe a person has a military kind of, maybe a kind of soldier personality, a warrior personality. He is identified with it completely, and his warrior nature comes out constantly. Or a victim personality, a perpetrator personality, a person who is always intimidating others and troubling others, because these personas are shaped up by many multiple experiences from the past. It's not one single experience which generates a personality structure. So this ego also is the biggest stumbling block for a spiritual seeker. So this will be dismantled because we understand we are not the body first. We are not the body because we are able to observe, we are able to become aware of the body, we are able to notice the body. Whatever you are observing, you are not that. For example, if I am observing this remote pointer, I am not this remote pointer. This is an object. Objectively, I'm watching this. In the same way, if I'm able to watch my body, I'm not the body. I'm not the mind. If we watch the mind, the thoughts are coming, going, and we know that we are not the mind. And we know that we are not emotions, feelings. We know that whatever the ego that's playing the tricks in our life, sometimes getting into trouble, and we go into what is called right and wrongs and good and bads and self-righteousness, and the ego does not want to think that it is wrong. It wants to prove that it's right. So we understand we become the watcher of the ego also, and we disidentify from it. And then we really reach to that essence in us, the watcher who is watching everything, the witnesser who is witnessing everything. The whole spiritual search is for reaching to that divine essence that we are. So during this process, many spiritual seekers, they access past life memories. Past life memories have no relevance at all because they're also stories. You're not your past life. Whatever the past, you may be the healer in the past life. What about you now? You may be a great sage in the past life, but if you are not now doing the work of a sage now, your behaviors are very rude and angry, and you're throwing temper tantrums, then the past is really not useful at all. So every story of the past life, we also drop it. We let go of it. So every spiritual seeker encounters this path towards their own divine essence. Once we connect to that divine essence, all these stories disappear. We really live in the moment. Living in the moment is the primary goal of every spiritual seeker. Past life regression therapy has an enormous role to play. Past life regression therapy is not really glorifying the past, clinging to the past memories, but it is saying goodbye to the past. We recognize, okay, this is the story that I'm carrying. Oh, this is the relationship that I'm not able to forgive so far. This is the fear that I'm clinging to. And we say now goodbye to it. We dissolve it. The past dissolves with our understanding, which is growing in us. So finally, the goal of us, every one of us, whether you become a meditator, whether we are using this therapeutic modality, it is to come back to this moment and dissolve the past completely. Though the past remains because it's happened, but it will not have an effect on you because you have unclinged from the past.
So beautifully put. So PLR basically helps you to drop the past baggage so that you can heal yourself and ground yourself in the present moment and give it your best. And you again define who you are today. And Dr. Newton is also saying that you have the power to redefine yourself no matter where you are in the life and no matter what happened with you. Am I right, Dr. Newton?
Yes, you are very right, Mallikaji. We are very powerful beings. You know, we are thinking about the power that we have in the body. It's amazingly powerful. A body has the ability to, repair itself, heal itself. So much wonders, in the body. The power of the mind, we know from the science itself, the power of the mind is enormous. The power of subconscious mind is enormous. So think about the power of the soul that we have. Still, we are not able to tap into that potential that we have. The soul, the consciousness is unlimited. Everyone is powerful being, magnificent being, without exception. That's what we need to realize, the power of our own consciousness. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, Dr. Newton, could you please give us some more personal experiences of yours and how you have overcome certain limitations or blocks and that has propelled you to reach greater heights that you are at right now?
Okay. So my own personal experiences, I can share one experience about the abandonment issue, which I had from childhood. I was grown up, I was reared by my grandmother because we were four children. My parents thought, we'll give the two children to my grandmother. So two children, my brothers were there with my parents. I was with my grandmother. So at that time, I used to cry for my mother. And as a almost like a 3-year-old or less than that, maybe I was a 2-year-old child at the time. I used to search for my mother, and even everywhere, even the school, when all the students used to come with their parents, I used to think, where are my parents? So as a child, I went through this abandonment feeling. Why my parents abandoned me? Why they kept me away? And though my grandmother has given me ultimate love, the grandmother's love, but she cannot be replacing the mother's love. Mother's love is totally different. So she was taking care of me like a mother, but I could sense that I was missing my mother. So that was a very deep issue. And when I became a teenager, I came back to my parents, but there was anger. I abandoned my parents now because after I was angry. I was angry. Oh, why you sent me to my grandmother? Why you did not keep me with you? There was a wall that I built between me and my mother and father. I could never agree to anything. I did not accept them initially. It was such a rebellious period for me. I was rebelling, angry, and at that age, around intermediate time, I started smoking cigarettes. It's out of anger, this issue, the pain of abandonment, which I carried. At that time, I lacked awareness. Why behaving that way? But now, if I retrospectively look at the past memory, I can see that there's anger in me. And when I came into meditation path, I accessed past life memories where really the story is ancient story. Almost 5 lifetimes, I was always losing contact with my parents. I was an orphan in one child. One lifetime, I was forgotten. They were all going to a place. They forgotten me. I was a small child in the forest, lost my way, and I died there. So almost 5 lifetimes, this issue was continuing. The solution came when I accessed a karmic past life, when I abandoned somebody, when I abandoned my wife and my child in one lifetime. I was so much shocked to see that. Oh, I also abandoned my child, abandoned my wife, because that point of time in the another life, I was an escapist, like a husband who don't want to take any responsibility for the family. I ran away to Himalayas and to become a sadhu because it's too much to handle the responsibilities of the family, earning money and taking care of problems. I ran away. So they actually carried the abandonment feeling. They felt abandoned. So in this lifetime, I healed this abandonment issue. I recognize this pattern which is continuing from multiple lives. Finally, this karmic past life, when I abandoned, where I abandoned my child, that was the key point where I could understand, I could forgive completely my parents. I could forgive myself. I know that I'm still holding on to the wound, the pain. That's why the story is continuing. I could say now it's over. I came back to my mother. I first time I fallen on her feet. I bowed down. First time I could bow down as a child. And I hugged my mother. I received her love. I received love from my father, which I was denying. So this is what I went through my own profound healing. This is one experience. And second, I want to share is one lifetime where I was a Buddhist monk, almost 2000 years back. I was in this ancient university, Takshashila University. So that time I was an acharya. I was teaching Buddhist doctrine of reincarnation and life karma in that ancient university. I could access that memory. And what happened is the benefit of it is I could open my self consciousness to the wisdom of Buddha. I have no, training in Buddhism. I have not read books about Buddha, but a very deep understanding came to me after accessing this past life. I retrieved the talent and skill from that lifetime. So I was never a good teacher before, but after accessing this memory, I, I was teacher. I was a spiritual teacher in that ancient university. So I completely retrieved that past life wisdom and talent. I was conducting similar kind of, approach, regression work I was doing in 2000 years back as a Buddhist monk. So this is my another profound experience I want to share.
It's wonderful. And I can see that monk-like energy around you and that pleasantness, the peace and calm. So no wonder you've been carrying it from so many lives. Um, so, Dr. Newton, my next question is that can you perform these PLR sessions on yourself once you learn the PLR therapy?
Yes, one can actually, if everyone is ready, in meditation itself, they can access these memories. Your own consciousness will present to you these memories. But we need to really sincerely practice meditation. We need to be so sincere to the practice. We have to still this monkey mind. And I have found almost many meditators, almost hundreds of meditators who could access memories not through past life regression, but through meditation. That's the first thing that I can recommend, meditation practice. And 40 days meditation practice. Every day, if you give yourself 1 hour time to just close the eyes and observe the breathing. I did this practice. I access memories all by myself. And the second way is dreams. We do access past life dreams. We do get dreams, but we discard them, we ignore them because we don't know the value of the information. The dream content is very, very important to understand our dreams. And we can maintain a dream journal. Through that, we can understand the symbolic language of the dreams. Many past life dreams appear to us if we are ready, if we are particularly in the path of awareness, path of truth, path of seeker, we definitely get these past life dreams. The third one is learning the process, the past life regression. And then you can conduct on your own. I access more than 100 lifetimes. And because we carry those things past information which is projected into this life as well. That's why it benefits us definitely. At least I know that everyone need to access at least immediate past birth because it has a connection to this current life, because it's a continuation. Whatever is incomplete in the past life, we continue in this life. So, for example, that lifetime of a Buddhist monk, I had this deep understanding that I need to continue the same work. So now we are building the Quantum Life University through Life Foundation. So that nothing but reincarnation of Takshashila University, because it's my deep desire to create again the spiritual science university, because this is a continuation. That's why past life regression can be conducted on your own after knowing the process. So that's why Buddha never went to a past life regression therapist. The part of his enlightenment, he shared 646 past life memories he accessed in the very first meditation itself. When he started observing the breathing, Anapanasati meditation, he discovered it accidentally. That day, he was meditating for 7.5 hours at a stretch. The first 2.5 hours, the first part of his meditation session, he accessed all Akashic records, 646 lifetimes information. He later shared them as Jataka tales. They're nothing but his own past life memories. So that's why I encourage many, whoever coming to us, we say that first try on your own. Why don't you meditate for 40 days? Try on your own. But still you're unable to access. You have a question, you have a problem, you have a pattern, you're stuck in your life, then we hold the space for you. We are only a facilitator. We are not the one who really healing. You are the one, whoever is the client, regressee, whoever is going through the process, they are healing themselves. We hold the space for them. So that's what is my answer, Mallikaji. One can conduct on their own.
That's beautiful. So I understand you can retrieve your talents, you can heal your traumas, you can clear your blocks. You also can heal relationships, isn't it?
Yes, heal relationships also. I mean, most of the relationships are karmic relationships.
True.
Why we have so many dysfunctional relationships now, it's all karmic relationship. There's something like balance is required, some kind of settlements required, karmic debts need to be cleared. So we come back again to heal. Relationships is a platform where existence is giving us an opportunity to heal and grow.
Wonderful. In my line of work, especially, I work with relationships, and the biggest challenge that I face is when people ask, should I stay or leave?
Right.
Which is, I can't answer that for them, but I've always looked for probably a way to help them realize that for themselves. Because in coaching, we believe that it is so fundamentally on mindfulness and Buddhism actually, that we are whole and complete already. And my job is only to hold the safe space for people to open up and then find and connect to their inner wisdom. So using PLR, how do we know when to stay or when to leave?
Okay. Actually, we don't encourage anyone to leave because they're losing an opportunity to heal the unhealed past.
Yeah.
Most of the relationships, when they're ending abruptly, without a proper closure, if it's an abusive relationship, then we encourage them to, both of them to go through the process of regression therapy, to look at what happened in the past. What is this issue that's come up? So most of the times they go through the profound healing process. There is a beautiful learning process they go through, and they don't find any need to leave the relationship. Instead, they can heal. It's a very powerful healing modality to heal relationships, because most of them are karmic. There are mutual lessons. There are mutual lessons that they need to learn from each other.
That's wonderful. So with that, Dr. Newton, may I request you to take us through a small experience, and post which I'm sure there will be many more questions. So could you please take us through a process?
Definitely. Definitely. And dear friends, the process is simple. Today, approximately, we will meditate. We go through this process for 30 minutes. Maybe I leave last 10 minutes for Q&A, question and answers. So I will explain the process so that we are equipped. Takes around a couple of minutes. We need to get into a very relaxed state first. Your body needs to be very relaxed. Your mind also needs to go through a kind of tranquil, serene kind of state of consciousness. Your mind also needs to relax. We need to let go of all the stress. We have to leave everything and be undistracted. If you're in your home, you can be in that space where you are not going to be disturbed for the next 30 minutes. And when we are going through this process, we experience different ways. The experience can be visual experience, or it can be kinesthetic experience. Kinesthetic is more of sensory based. You get the impressions, feelings, sensations in the body. This is another experience. People also go through a different type of experience called knowing experience. Without having any vision, they access the memory. It is kind of smruti or inner knowingness. They just have the memory that comes up through the intuition. So there are different ways. That's why we should not only look for visual details. Some of us are not visual beings. That's why we do a small test for you. This test will make you understand whether you are a visual person, auditory person, gustatory person, olfactory, or kinesthetic, because there are different ways of accessing the past life memories. It's a 3-minute test. Okay, friends? In this particular test, we all have memory about our childhood home, right? You all remember childhood home. We all have good memory of it. Like even if you have shifted to many homes, but one home you connect from your heart. You have a very deep connection with that particular home. So what we do is we're going to close our eyes. I'm going to make you recall that childhood home, the memory of your childhood. We'll see, this is a test to understand what is the primary modality of perception that you're using. So I want you to make yourself relaxed, sit in a comfortable posture, and closing your eyes, just loosen up your muscles. Let your body completely relax. From head down to your feet, relaxing your head and neck, relaxing your shoulders, just relaxing. Let go of all that heaviness on your shoulders. And now relax your backbone, your spinal cord, relax your neck, throat, your chest. As you inhale and exhale, relax fully. Allow this relaxation to flow down into your belly, into your abdomen. Now allow your awareness to move into your legs, relaxing your both the legs, completely relaxing your body. Intent, be willing to relax completely. It's exactly the relaxation that you get just before you fall asleep. Every night, we have been going through this experience of relaxation. Now you're going to consciously relax. At this point of time, I would like you to remember your childhood home. Bring this memory of your childhood home, remembering the details. And I'm going to count 5 to 1. This point of time, you're going to revisit your childhood home as if you are going to navigate, explore your childhood home. You will be there in front of that childhood home, looking at your home where you lived as a child. 5. Not only remembering the details, now project yourself to that past when you are a child, lived in that home. 4. Look at the details of that childhood home. Look at from outside the building, outside the home, the gate, the walls, the architecture. 3. And now be willing to enter into your childhood home through your mind. Send out your mind there. Enter into your childhood home. Opening the front door. Now navigate the arrangements of the rooms, kitchen, dining hall, bedrooms, the walls, color the walls, paintings. 1, be there, exploring your own childhood home. Open your heart to feel the details, whether it is visual or feeling experience does not matter. Tune into that particular memory. Remember one pleasant memory when you are a child, where all your family members together, you shared a meal together. It could be a memory that you always remember, or it could be the memory which was forgotten, does not matter. A pleasant memory where you all sharing meal together. You're all sitting together at the dinner table. Your mother, father, brothers, sisters, you and all of you together. It's a very precious, pleasant memory. Access it fully. Be there as I count 5 to 1. Not only remembering, relive, re-experience as if it is happening now. 5, 4, 3. Pictures, images, impressions, feelings, sensations. Fully experience it. 3, 2, 1. Be there. Reliving, re-experiencing as if it is happening now. Feel what you're feeling. See what you're seeing. Experience whatever you are experiencing in a pleasant memory. Is it daytime or evening time? We're all sitting at the dining table. What food is prepared? What is your mom saying to you? What is your father saying to you? What's brothers, sisters, other family members conversing in that moment? Even notice the details. What are you seeing visually at the food and all your family members? What are you seeing when you're looking at them? And what are you hearing? What kind of conversations you're hearing? What kind of emotions or feelings you're feeling in that moment when you're recalling this memory? Are you feeling pleasant, good, a joy, connected feeling with the family? Just feel what you feel. And what kind of aromas are coming from this food that is prepared? What kind of smells are coming? As you start biting, you start eating the food, and notice what kind of taste you could remember, recall. Be present in that memory fully. Even though part of you is in the moment, you're listening to the instructions, but still a part of you can be there, completely experiencing it. Just completely allow these positive feelings to fill your entire being. At this moment, with this information that you access, and start slowly returning back, knowing what type of modality of perception that you're using, whether you are a visual person, are you able to see clearly the memory, the details? Are you a kinesthetic person where you are accessing the memory through impressions and feelings? Are you an auditory person, could hear the conversations? Are you gustatory where you could access the taste memory, taste? Are you olfactory where you could also smell the aromas? Are you multisensory using all these senses? At this point of time, as I count 1, 2, 3, you can slowly come back to this moment, wide awake, conscious, and alert by the count of 3. 1, you're feeling very fresh and relaxed. 2, you're only bringing the positive feelings. 3, take your time. Whenever you're ready, you may slowly open your eyes. Take your time. Welcome, dear friends. And I want to know from you, how many of you are visual? You can raise your hand. Visual, yes, thank you. That's wonderful. All of you here who are present in this gallery, that's wonderful. Thank you. And how many of you also impressions and feelings? You could feel partly visual, partly feelings. Yes, impressions you're hearing. Yeah. How many could access this auditory information? Like you could hear your mother speaking to you, and yes, that's wonderful. Yes, thank you. How many gustatory means taste buds? You could also feel the taste when you're tasting the food. Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. Gustatory. Thank you. And one experience, can anyone share about this revisiting the memory of your childhood home? And it will be insightful for everyone. It is going to be good. You're most welcome. Anyone can share.
Yeah, so K. Ratna is... Okay, Ratna, can you type down your message, please? 1 second. I'm just trying to give her the access. Okay. Ratna, you may speak now.
Namaste, Newton Garu.
Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste. When you said revisit your, your native place or your childhood place, I was actually a daughter. I'm actually a daughter of a military personnel. So we were been traveling like place to place since my birth. So I couldn't actually pick one. And I was wondering, which one is, which one to actually try to visualize. And then I thought this task is going to be difficult for me. But then all of a sudden, my memories just stuck to one visual, like one house, one place. So that just happened. I was not even concentrating or thinking about it, but it just happened and my memory stayed there. So that was awesome.
Wonderful. And what are you a visual person? The details are visual details?
Yeah. I found out I'm a visual person.
You're a visual person. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Thank you.
Thank you.
So friends, this is really wonderful to hear at least one experience. We'll not have much time to listen to every experience, but we'll go ahead now into a past life exploration. For a short, like a time safari, we're going to just tune into one past life memory, which is so important to know. Maybe a positive memory, because that's good. Positive things can be invited into our life, where you have a talent and skill and you can retrieve it, which can enhance your own confidence and self-esteem to intelligence and wisdom. Maybe that may be helpful. So let's now, yes, Mallika ji.
I have one question, and it actually happens to come from Prerna as well. In this process, in this experience, there was a phase where I totally tuned out. Now that when you ask that gustatory experience and all, I didn't even hear those. So there is another participant who says that now that she came out, she completely blank. She does not remember. So what happens when we go through this experience and we tune out?
Yes. Sometimes we go into such deep levels of consciousness, we don't remember what happened. But our subconscious mind is hearing everything. It stores the information. So that's why our goal is not to go into very deep levels of consciousness, deep trance. We call it as a trance. If we go there, we will be in a Sushupti state. Sushupta Avastha means where we don't have any kind of memory. We don't remember. Even though we process something, we don't remember it. That's why our goal is to place ourselves in the light or medium level of trance. So we can just go with the guided meditation. That's a good way to go ahead. Even though sometimes we tune out, again tune back in. Instead of feeling that, okay, I lost this session and not feeling bad about it, but tune again. And it's a short session, so I think it's not really difficult to focus.
I hope that clarifies for Prerna as well. So we are in safe hands. He's one of the best or the topmost pioneers in PLR and many other modalities. So we are safe in his hands, and let's experience this process now.
It's safe, friends. It's safe because we are going to access positive memories. We'll not process now a very difficult memory where you have fallen down from a cliff and because it's not, I don't want to now conduct such a session where it is going to be intense for you, but a positive life where you can access something beautiful. So let's now tune again and make yourselves very comfortable, dear friends. There's a background music that I'm going to play, which will help you. So if you want to lie down, you can lie down also. But those who have a habit of going into deep sleep, it's not recommended. But you can take support of the back. You can lean back and really relax your body. And closing your eyes. As you inhale, inhale all the freshness into your body. As you exhale, let go all the anxiety, stress, tensions, worries. Let each breath that you are taking guide you into a very deep and deep state of relaxation. As I count 5 to 1, in this counting process, I would like you to visualize, picturize, imagine a divine light from the source coming down and covering your entire body. 5, imagine this light coming from the source. 4, soothing, healing, relaxing light. Allow your mind to choose the color or colors of this light. 3, two, allow this light to flow down into your body, covering your entire body from head down to feet like a warm blanket of light. Know that you are safe and secure with this light around you. You're protected. You're divinely protected. 1, allow this light to surround your body like a cocoon of light, like a protective shield. Throughout this session, know that you are safe. Give yourself the permission to explore your reincarnation memories, particularly a positive memory, pleasant memory of a past life. Give yourself all the permissions. At this moment, to deepen this state of relaxation, I would like you to send out your mind to a beautiful place of nature, your favorite place of nature, the place where you feel totally relaxed. Your sanctuary, it's your healing, peaceful sanctuary. Once you're there, open your 5 senses, allow yourself to explore your favorite place of nature. Walking into that place of nature. It could be mountains, riverside, or waterfalls, forest, beautiful gardens. Could be your own home, does not matter. Whatever is your favorite place of nature. Open all your senses to explore and experience using all your inner senses, looking at the beauty of the nature, the colors, the textures, smelling the aromas, feel the temperature of the place, listen to the sounds coming from the nature, the sounds, the wind, sounds of birds, sounds of your own footsteps as you walk into the nature. In a moment's time, as you tune into this place of nature, you'll be stepping into a very deep levels of consciousness, deep trance. Though you can enter into a deep trance, still a part of you is always present, alert and awake. At this moment, you can deepen this state of relaxation multiplying it by 100 times, deeper than ever before. Relaxing physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually at all levels. At this moment, in this deep state of consciousness, we can go back in time, beyond the childhood, beyond the womb memories. Can turn the memory backwards. We're going to journey through this time tunnel. This time tunnel is a metaphor for a portal connecting you from this current life to a past life memory. At this moment, I would like you to imagine yourself inside a time tunnel, a dark tunnel. At the end of the tunnel, there is a bright light. Imagine, use all your imaginative skills now. I'm going to count 10 to 1. In this counting process, you're going to journey to the end of the tunnel where there's a bright light. By the count of 1, you're going to jump into that light. You'll be landing into a past life memory when you had a positive talent and a skill, wisdom that you carried in your soul. You access that past life memory. 9, imagine, feel yourself in this tunnel. Be willing, give yourself the permission to journey to the end of the tunnel. By the count of 1, as you reach the end of the tunnel, jump into the light, you'll be joining a past life memory. 8, trust that it is safe to journey into past. 7, know that your invisible guides, masters, beings of light, always supporting you. 6, 5, going closer to that light at the end of the tunnel. 3, 2, almost there. By the count of 1, trust the first impression as you jump into the light. 1, jump into the light at the end of the tunnel. Trust the first impression coming to you as you land yourself in a different time period, different place, when you are in a different body. Trust the first impression coming to you. As you look down at your feet, notice the first impression you get about your footwear. Without analyzing or editing the information, allow yourself to experience it fully. This is a lifetime where you have positive talent and skill. At this moment, feel your body, look at yourself, notice what kind of clothes you're wearing. Notice your body. Are you a man or woman? Are you young or old? Trust the first impression and your intuition that's coming to you. And look out through your eyes, look at the surroundings of the place. What kind of place is it? Is it a place where there's a lot of nature, trees, birds, a lot of nature? Or is it a place like a city, town, or village? What kind of place is it? Are you alone or are you with people? Is it daytime or evening time? Be there in that memory, completely be inside this memory. At this moment, I'd like you to project this image, impression, this feeling, the first impression that you had onto a big movie screen theater. This movie of your past life can unfold in front of your eyes, the story behind the story. Right now, as you project this image on the big screen where you're sitting in the front row of the theater, watch yourself, watch that movie of your past life. There's a movie of your own past life where you have positive talent and skill. Allow yourself now to look at all the significant memories of that life. You can rewind, forward, you can play again, you can pause. If there is something significant, you can pause and explore that significant memory of that positive lifetime. Know that it is safe to access. We keep aside a logical, linear mind. We allow our subconscious mind to project the whole story. Notice the details. As this movie is unfolding in front of your eyes, which century do you belong to? By what name are you called by the people? What's the first impression coming to you? What's the time period approximately? Which country do you belong to? What's the name of the place where you live? What's the first impression coming to you? Explore the nature of your work, your profession, what kind of skill set you have, what kind of knowledge you have, what kind of talent you have in that lifetime. Trust as these memories unfold in front of your eyes. In this beyond time space, you can intuitively grasp many things from that past lifetime. Also, understand about the past life, friends, relations, your family, and all that story, significant memories of that lifetime. Let it flash in front of your eyes. Completely trust. Allow yourself to go to the important, significant memory just before you reach to the deathbed in that last life, in that past life. Just before you have vacated the body, a significant memory. Explore that memory. Trust the impressions coming to you about that last death moments of that life. What are your dying feelings, dying thoughts? Are you alone in that moment when you are leaving the body? As you hover above the body, I would like you to look at your cremation, the last death rites that are conducted. Are you happy to leave the body? Do you recognize people from that life who are with you in this current life? Compare the past life with the current life now. How is this past life relevant to you now? What is the significance of this memory to you now? As a soul, what did you gain from this experience of this past lifetime where you had this talent and skill? What is that you learned from this experience? At this moment, I would like you to represent this positive talent and skill in form of a ball of light. Whatever that positive skill and talent, you are a warrior, but whatever those warrior qualities, the courage that you have, you can represent it from a ball of light. If you're a healer, if you're a teacher, if you're a singer, a musician, a painter, a dancer, whatever that talent and skill or wisdom, knowledge that you had, represent in the form of a ball of light. At this point of time, know that this is the past, which is already over. Any kind of negative things that happened in that lifetime, you're going to leave it behind because it's already over. You can only retrieve the positive skills, talents, knowledge, understanding. Know that this past is over. You can bring back this talent, skill, which you can utilize it in this current life to enhance, to accelerate your spiritual growth. At this moment, visualize, picturize this ball of light joining you in this current life. I'd like you to see that past life personality of yours, the person that you are in the past life, and say to the person, as this current lifetime personality, stand in front of him or her, say to that person in the past life, I'm coming from the future time, from 2020. I'm glad that I could find you today. You are me. I am you. You are an aspect, past life self of me. I invite you, I welcome you. And at this point in time, let the entire energy that belongs to the past join you with all the positive talent and skill. At this moment, you're going to come back through that tunnel, find you steps back through that tunnel, through that light portal, the tunnel, you can slowly return back. You're going to come back with these positive feelings, positive understanding. this talent and skill which is awakened in you. As I count now 1 to 5, allow yourself to come back to this present moment. 1, every day, in every way, you become better and better in every facet of your life. 2, you're going to bring back these positive feelings, positive energies, positive understanding, positive talent, skills, which you can align it to your current life, to enhance, to accelerate yourself, accelerate your spiritual growth. 3, all the way back to this moment. 4, feel your breath, breathing consciously with awareness. Encode these beautiful positive feelings in your breath, the breath of life you can take. Inhale and exhale. 5, whenever you are ready, slowly you can wiggle toes and start moving your limbs and placing your hands on your eyes, and slowly you may open your eyes. Take your own time. Slowly, you can open your eyes, dear friends. It's wonderful, friends. We all could experiment through this group session using a virtual platform. I want to know from you any questions, any feedback, any sharing that you want to do. You're most welcome. I open this to any kind of discussion, any kind of thing that you want to ask.
Yeah, you may now ask your questions or share your experience first, and then we'll go to the questions as well. Okay, till people make up their mind, I will share my experience.
Sure.
Okay, Akshar also has a question. So actually, I saw multiple lives. I mean, there is no connection from one vision to another. I saw myself in China on the hills in a monastery, practicing the martial arts and calligraphy also. That was very weird. And then I saw visions as if I'm touching the ground, and I can actually see the sand and the particles of sand really big. And then there was another vision I saw towards fag end, where there is a really old lady and she's crying. And yeah, that's when I think I came out of it. So there were multiple visions. I couldn't connect one to another.
Right. So these can be explored again by yourself. You can take up, for example, the monastery experience or the old woman who was crying with sadness. These two experiences, other experience as well, you can take it again in your meditation, explore it again. So the content, the whole content can be, because it's a kind of very short, very quick exploration that we did. We could not explore in detail, but you can do it again all by yourself in your meditation. Mallikaji, thanks for sharing. Sometimes it happens when we have these multiple, for example, in a group session, we lose the groundedness into one past life memory. Instead, many memories open up simultaneously. So we have glimpses of multiple lives.
So yeah, that brings me. So I have seen the clouds jumping through the clouds, and I've seen water, and I have seen sand, earth. So I don't know what that means, but like you rightly said, I will explore them in the meditation process.
Yes.
Meanwhile, we have two participants who have questions.
Yes.
Yeah. We have unmuted. Akshar? Can you talk?
Hello. Yes, I'm Gayatri.
Okay, hi. Your name?
Hi. Yeah. It's my surname. Yeah, I have one question. Reach at other place, but I could not visual, or I am not able to understand what is that. Just orange place and something I am getting as a dream, but I am not visualize that and not understanding.
Okay. Sometimes you just try to access it, and for various reasons you could not fully access the past life memory, but you reached a place, kind of orange place. Maybe it's a kind of a different state of consciousness that you reached. Not to be disappointed, because when you try again next time, you can go into more deeper experience, ma'am. And it's good effort, good attempt that you made. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Vivek, we have Vivek. He's got a question too.
Yes, Ms. Vivek, please.
Hello, Dr. Newton. Wonderful. What an experience. It was simply amazing. I mean, it suddenly, at the as you mentioned, the end of the tunnel, the feeling was that I'm completely transformed into perhaps a nomad or a sadhu type of with very less clothes, and I'm like I'm actually flying up in the air, and then I'm actually searching for something. I'm only in the within the woods and forest, and there's a cave, and I'm actually just sitting there. I'm still searching. I'm looking for something, and that's how when you mentioned about the death, right? And that's where the death happens. But I don't see any people around, right? When I'm dying, right? And that's the a very different type of experience. First time ever that I have. Experience, and I'm also Vipassana meditator, but still, this is something which was very different.
Mr. Vivek, I must congratulate you for this experience, because this is a kind of past life experience. It's not symbolic experience. It's a past life experience. How could we say it as a past life experience? Is because number one is when you landed into that past life, you found yourself as that sadhu sitting in a cave, sitting in a kind of place where you're all alone meditating, probably maybe searching for answers, searching for unanswered questions, some kind of greater answers. And the second is there are going to be parallels with this current life. For example, you already told about Vipassana experience. You're already a Vipassana meditator, because most of these spiritual seekers, they carry that spiritual inclination again through multiple lives. It explains a lot, and probably you carried that deep spiritual quest all through your lifetimes. Sometimes old souls, they are in the quest. Old souls are the one who already not old in the body, but old in the soul levels, in the linear time model of the earth. You have already crossed many levels, and a spiritual quest is your main intention and motto and purpose for which you incarnated. So you can explore further. Any question that you have, you can ask.
Nothing, doctor. I just want to share. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's wonderful.
Thank you, Vivek. And we have Mrs. Rajam Shankar as well, who wants to share her experience.
Yes.
And please go ahead.
Namaskar, sir.
Namaskaram, madam.
I hope you remember me.
I think we need to mute. I will mute myself for some time because it's echoing.
Yeah, is it okay now?
Yes, better.
I think so. It's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Because my speaker was on, that's why it was echoing. I must, I wanted to share my two experiences. What was also, I think, as an answer to somebody who was asked regarding how much this healing happens through past life regression. So when I went before around, I think about 5 years back, I attended Dr. Newton's PLR program. And there I must say that before that, I regularly used to get unknown, unexplained. I can't explain. There was a pain around on my right side of my neck. connecting to the shoulder. And I went through the experience and I saw that almost in 3 to 4 life we had before, I was all the time, my death occurred with, somebody hitting only on my right side. Whether it was a bullet one side, one time it was like a lathi, that blown, and all these things. So after going through that, once I went through this PLR program, and after that, I never felt that pain, that unexplained pain, which I was experiencing earlier, this pain, and it is completely gone. And second one I wanted to tell, that in previous, about, I think, as he said, not exactly the immediate previous one or before that, nearly 1,000 years back, what I saw myself. I was Gurukulam, where I'm teaching music and also sharing my knowledge of astrology and all those things. And I was so happy that, there, like, I'm a Guru Mata, and even more excited to see that my husband, who is now as a tool maker, and there also he's trying to teach in Gurukulam. He is also again same husband there also, and trying to teach the Sishyas how to sharpen the pain. I mean, what bhala, what they use, and that's what the angle and how to hold it. And also, so he said, there also I'm working with the tool, and now also I'm doing with the machine cutting tool. So it actually carries, we carry the knowledge, what we have this thing. And today I'm very happy that my music therapy, maybe somewhere the knowledge stored from generation is helping me to do work today. I'm really very thankful to Dr. Newton that I went through your session, and I'm really blessed. I'm feeling very happy about it. That's the share.
Thank you for sharing that. Oh, sorry, Dr.
Yes.
Sorry, yeah, please speak.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing your healing experience. We carry the talent, skill, the knowledge across lifetimes. Because in that Gurukul, you are teaching that to many students. You carry that in this life. You carry that skill, the teaching ability to, also the interest to impart the knowledge to others. It is your lifetime skill. Thank you so much for sharing.
So, Dr. Newton, now the question arises: where do we learn this art of PLR?
Can you repeat the question, Mallika ji?
Yeah, I said, where can we learn PLR process? How do we learn this?
How do we learn this? We conduct the programs, the training programs. Those who want to be facilitators, they can learn. Those who want to go through the entire process, also we have a residential campus in Vikarabad, that's almost 80 kilometers from Hyderabad. It's a beautiful kind of serene surroundings with a lot of nature. So there we have a pyramid which is built. Inside the pyramid, this happens. Once in a year, we conduct this program. But in the city, we have an experiential 2-day program that happens every month, almost a month. Even this month also, we have in Telugu language to benefit all the people from Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. We have a program for 2 days. But those who want to learn the 6 days, that's once in a year. We put that in our website, qluglobal.org. That's the website. So there are different modalities of healing, which are primarily regression work, like inner child regression, childhood regression, the womb regression, and past life regression. There is LBL, life between life regression. Means between lives, our soul is residing in different realms. Our soul have gone through certain kinds of experiences there, learning process there. So that's called life between life regression therapy. So these are different modalities that we teach, we offer. So you're most welcome to write to us. Any queries, you can contact us through email or through the phone numbers that's given on the website.
Wonderful. So there is one more question. You had mentioned earlier that you also teach about how to interpret the dreams. And are you having any upcoming workshops on that as well?
Actually, I recommend a program we developed. This is called Soul Coach program. Soul Coach Transformational Program. It's for 20 days. It's open for everyone. In that, we deal with all the spiritual science topics. Dreams is one of the topics. How to, the dream language. It's a free program for everyone. It's a residential. So, Quantum Life University, we are offering it in Telugu language and English. So this year, again, October, the second semester is going to happen, but we can't take because the first semester people, they attend. It's a certification program. So you're most welcome, anyone interested. So dreams is one of the topics, and subconscious mind, we're going to explore 108 topics in 20 days time. So two different semesters we created. So with a gap of around 6 months to 8 months duration. So in that period, they do a lot of homework, they do sadhana. So they come back again for the second semester.
So I see that for this year, that program is closed for new entrants.
Correct.
So you can probably look for the next year.
Yes, yes, exactly.
And for those of you who have questions where to find this information, I'm going to tag that information on the Facebook page and also in the YouTube channel. So you can refer that information there. And it will have all the details about the workshops that Dr. Newton and Life Foundation, they do together. So there is somebody who's got a question. Okay. We have one more question. Can we take that?
Sure, sure. Most welcome.
One more person. Yeah.
Thank you, Mallika. Newton Garu, thank you for accommodating my question. I had this session lying. I'm very comfortable when I'm lying rather than sitting. So I wanted to have the most experience, like the maximum. So what happened is, like, when you said jump and we all probably jumped out of the tunnel, it was all dark. It was a forest, something. I couldn't see my body. I couldn't feel anything. Like I couldn't sense, like I couldn't look for it. Nothing was visually available for me regarding my body, but just the forest, and it was all dark and all. And then when you said grab the skills from the past lifetime and bring it, so my left hand, it just started moving on its own. It was really shocking for me, actually. So it just went and then I was on the bed, so it just went like that, and then like I'm holding something in my hand, like a ball or something, and then it just dropped slowly on the bed again. And that was when we kind of came back from the tunnel. So does that mean anything, or is it just one of the experiences?
It's also a wonderful experience, madam, because sometimes with the first attempt, first session, we access the glimpses of that life. So later on, you'll be able to fully explore. I share a case study where long back, a person reported that he was in a past life, but everything is dark. When he entered into past life scene, everything is dark. Then I asked him further the details. He said, I asked him to touch the land. He said, I could feel it's cold, the place is cold. I asked him to narrate about his body. He said, I'm cuffed because there was some kind of, he's a prisoner. He was inside the prison. It's a dark dungeon. He was inside the prison. That's why he could not even see what's there around, but he could feel. I was asking the details. He narrated about the entire thing. So we explored that past life when he was captivated and kept inside the prison. And we also reframed the old memory. But for you, I think a talent where you are a dweller in the forest, where you had a talent something that you use with your hand. Maybe that's why spontaneously, involuntarily, your hand moved up, like holding something in your hand. You can explore, man. But I think I recommend meditation first.
Yeah.
In meditation itself, you have so much clarity. That's
And
one.
the
Yes.
yeah,
Go ahead.
and the feeling was like there were needles and prickly, pins and needles in my feet, and my hand also still it's like as if there are thousands of pins in my arm. So it still feels heavy. So
Mm.
what does that mean?
It's generally when we go into an altered state of consciousness. This is called altered state of consciousness, meditative state. In that state, we access cosmic energy. That cosmic energy, when it's flowing, generally we feel with the fingertips and the toe tips, and also around the jaw. And you still feel heavy in the body because so much of energy which is still getting distributed in the body. Generally, when we enter into a kind of trance, the additional benefit of it is we access the cosmic energy. That's also an experience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for sharing, Ratna. And finally, thank you so much, Dr. Newton. You have made time for all of us today to introduce us to spiritual modalities and a very powerful modality like PLR. And through this, we also learned about the other modalities that you teach. And we hope and pray that me and all the audience join these sessions and learn more. And especially for the spiritual seekers, I think this is compulsory to progress their spiritual search. So thank you once again. And for everybody, I'm going to tag all the information about Dr. Newton and his foundation so that you can access the workshops and join the courses. So thank you so much, Dr. Newton.
Thank you, Mallika ji, for inviting me to the space to speak to all the friends. Thank you, friends, for allowing me and participating. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Best wishes to all of you.
Very grateful to you. So thank you all for joining this session, and I hope you have experienced it and you will take away the benefits and explore more of PLR and other spiritual modalities. So with that, thank you. I'm signing off. You may now sign off.
Yeah.
Dr. Newton is